Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you my Fear Street and Point horror novel collection. And alright, I'm just going to get right into it. So first one here is Ski Weekend, and this is actually the last one I read. It was alright. It wasn't that great, but I mean, I don't really read these because they're amazing. I just have nostalgic feelings over them, so that's the first one. Then there's The Cataluna Chronicles, The Dark Secret, and I have not read that one yet. That's a three-part series, I think, so I don't think I have the whole series, and this second part, I believe, The Evil Moon. So yeah. And The Best Friend, which I actually did read that one. It wasn't too bad. It has a sequel to it. I haven't read that one. The Waitress is actually, this one isn't by R.L. Stine. It's part of the Point Horror book series. Which, if you don't know what the Point Horror series is, it's like a group of a bunch of different horror authors got together to pretty much write their own stories and put them into a series together. So R.L. Stine was a part of that. And here it gets to the first of the Super Chillers, which were pretty much just longer Fear Street books, so you just get a lot more in them. They're thicker. So that was New Year's Party. And then the Silent Night series, which actually was a trilogy. This was actually one of the better Fear Street books, so I enjoyed that. It's got a Christmas theme, so it's good to read around Christmas. It's actually a pretty good series. Then another Super Chiller. I have four more of Super Chillers. This one is the Lifeguard. I haven't read this one yet. I plan to do a lot more reading this summer, so I should get through a good amount of these. And Broken Hearts. Silent Night 2, as I was talking before. It's pretty good. Then this is kind of like a sequel to the Cheerleaders series, which is pretty iconic Fear Street series. A lot of fans of that series, so it's actually a pretty good series. I don't think I've read all of it, but I probably should. Then there's Goodnight Kiss 2. Sadly, I don't have the first one, so can't really read this yet. And I'm just gonna straighten some of these up so they don't fall. Then we'll keep on going. There's the Fear Street Collector's Edition, which has 3 in 1. It has Haunted, Bad Moonlight, and Trapped. Have not read that one yet, but I will eventually. Then make it down our way. These are books right now from the classic run of Fear Street, so the original ones. This is The Surprise Party. Another one I have not yet read. Then Bad Dreams. I have not read that. So I pretty much every time I'm at like a thrift store, I just pick them up when I see them because, like I said, I'm nostalgic over them. Really like the old covers. I'm not really a fan of the covers on the newer books he's making because they don't have that same feel as these 90s covers do, but they're still cool. So this is Missing. I have 2 of them. This was actually kind of the weirder books. The ending was really kind of different from most endings in these books, so it wasn't too bad. Fun fact, I actually started a short-lived blog a couple of years ago where I actually reviewed this book. It was a pretty terrible review. Didn't have much writing experience back then, so don't check that out. And then here is a part of the 3-part series, the kind of going back to the origins of Fear Street. This is The Burning. This is the 3rd one. Sadly, I don't have the other 2, so yeah. This is The Prom Queen. I read this a couple of years ago. It's not terrible, but it's not really one of the better ones. a lot of these books are not really that great, but as I said before, nostalgia. Then College Weekend. Yeah, and I read this one. Not really much to say about this one. I guess it's alright. And then there's Doubleday. I don't like this book. I read it. It really isn't that good. I wouldn't recommend it. It's really just the main character's kind of a douche. He's not really enjoyable, so unless you like that kind of thing, I wouldn't really recommend it. And this is the third Cheerleaders book. This is, as I said before, it's a good series, so I would recommend this book. This is the Third Evil. Then moving on, there's Halloween Party. Haven't read this one yet, but probably will eventually. Then this is another part of the Point horror series. So this is Trick or Treat by Richie Cusick, and I actually started reading this book and never finished it. I got a little under halfway through and I just never picked it back up. I'm not really sure why. It was alright. Then moving on, we have a lot of big stack of Christopher Pike books, which I hear he writes similar to R.L. Stine. I'm not really sure which one of them is better, but because I haven't started reading any of his books yet. But the first one is Final Friends, Book 3, The Graduation. So I'm kind of hopeful for these books, anticipating them. They're actually a lot longer than regular Fear Street books. So if any of you guys have read Christopher Pike books and you know the comparisons between his books and R.L. Stine's, you can comment below. And so there is The Wicked Heart right here. Pretty good cover. I like these older looking covers. Can't really compare it to the newer covers. I like these ones a lot more. They just give a kind of an aesthetic experience while reading the novel. And this is The Last Vampire, which is, I think there might be more than 4 parts to this series actually, so it's kind of interesting. This is The Phantom. And this is Final Friends, The Dance. So if you're into horror novels and you're a young adult, I would definitely recommend reading a lot of these books. And this is The Chain Letter 2, The Ancient Evil. And here is Fall into Darkness. She fell forever and never hit the ground. Alright. See You Later. Story of Love and Hate Beyond Time. And finally, a third Final Friends book, which is the first one. It's The Party. Again, I haven't really read any of those, so I'm not sure about that. Final Exam, another point horror novel. So again, with all these point horror, they're kind of, all of these books are kind of written in the same style, so you kind of know what to expect when it comes to plot and whatnot. They don't, there isn't a lot of disparity in them, so not really a lot of differences. It's kind of just different characters and stuff, but it's not a whole lot different. So this is Dreadful Sorry. It's another point horror novel. April Fools. I hate April Fools actually, so, but it probably makes for an interesting book. And here's Let Me Tell You How I Died. I actually read this one. I didn't really care for it that much because I found the protagonist to not be very likable, but yeah, I just didn't really care for the concept behind this book. So it's like a girl, she moves into this new house and she finds a diary or something like that. I can't quite remember, and it's like it's the girl in the diary is like exactly like her or something. I can't remember that much. Just didn't really care for it that much. Read it a couple of years ago. And this Nightmare Hall series, which is kind of like a separate series within the Point Horror series. I haven't read any of them yet, so I'm not really sure how good they are. Another Nightmare Hall book, Captives. So yeah. And we move into R.L. Stine's independent novels that he wrote that aren't part of the Fear Street series. So this is Beach Party. Kind of like R.L. Stine's books because, well, they're so cheesy that they're enjoyable, and it just kind of brings like a 90s feel to it, and I just like, even though I didn't really grow up in the 90s, it's just provides kind of a nostalgic feeling. So this is by Carol Ellis. This is My Secret Admirer. The description says he was crazy about Jenny, crazy enough to kill her. You get that reference, Zach. And then this was Call Waiting. I read this. It was not good at all. I have nothing good to say about this book. It's just the average cliche. The girl gets a call from a stranger. There's just nothing good to say about this book. But the Babysitter series, however, this is actually a pretty good R.L. Stine series. I can definitely say that this is worth reading. Babysitter 1, 2, 3. I don't think there was a fourth, but this one definitely took a different turn on the series, so it's unexpected, but I think you'll like it if you're into these kind of books. The Hitchhiker, I've actually read this twice. This is definitely one of R.L. Stine's better novels. It really keeps you on your toes, and it's just a lot of unexpected twists and turns, so it's an enjoyable read in my opinion. And The Snowman, not quite sure how this would go, if it's a supernatural book or whatnot, but I haven't read this, and looks like one of R.L. Stine's more older novels. I haven't read this one either. It's The Dead Girlfriend. She loves him, she loves him not, so they just all kind of have cheesy catchphrases on the covers. But yeah, that was all of my Fear Street and Point Horror novels. So if you liked this video and you want to see more of this kind of stuff, just like and subscribe. I also have a Goosebumps collection that was given to me by my friend, so shout out to him, Rainbow Chaos. So that was pretty cool, and I guess see you later.